Okay, we got recording going, got the presentation up, we're good to go. So, Happy New Year. January 2nd today. Want to start off the year strong with a great call. I'm going to be going over 2024 New Year's goals, just kind of talking about it in a real estate perspective. I hope that you kind of reflected on 2023 and look forward to 2024, building on lessons that you've learned, being thankful for maybe some tough times that you made it through or situations, and look forward to continuing to grow and progress in life in 2024. Being on this call and joining these calls, you definitely are on the right track. So thank you for being here. But additionally, I'm going to talk towards the end of the call, do a walkthrough on how to comp properties. So that way, when you're looking at prospective investments, okay, it might be in a disastrous condition right now, but in time, if I were to purchase it and put the contracting and the renovation effort into it, what would the after repair value be? Which is what we care about when investing in fix and flip or BRRRR properties: buy, renovate, rent, refinance, repeat. Goodness, say that so much and I still get caught up. But all right, so I'm gonna start just kind of again, these are real estate focused. You can kind of apply these questions to your other goals and aspects of life. But what goals do you have? Goals for your education, to learn and to grow. That way your knowledge base expands. What kind of goals do you have for property purchases and projects? Also, I like to think of things as inputs. That's a big change for me this year, is turning my mindset more off of, okay, what is the desired outcome and goals and blah, 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 but more so to what are the desired inputs? Am I going to focus on that I have control over, that should, if I do them right or everything works out, get me to my goals, my outcomes, and my outputs. So what inputs are you thinking of or do you have for your goals? Then boom, what outcomes are you desiring? And making sure we focus on the inputs to get to those outputs and outcomes. So education. And before I get too deep into this, I'm not going to give you homework, but I think it would be great, just for yourself. And if you'd like to share with me, I'd love to talk to you about it. We can kind of keep accountable throughout the year, reflect, see if we're on track, if it's moved and changed. But kind of answer some of these questions when I send out the PowerPoint, go through it, and just jot down here, maybe Google Docs, what your goals are and what your inputs are going to be. So where are you lacking in knowledge? I like to say you don't know what you don't know. So it might be tough to answer this question, but I also like this question because it is tough. It really makes you think, like, okay, where are my shortcomings? Where do I just not know anything? Maybe I've heard of it or it's something that I've seen and I just have no knowledge base. So where are you lacking in knowledge? And then kind of tying into that, where are you weak in your understanding? You may have some knowledge base. Again, you may have heard of it. You might learn a little bit. You might have, we might have gone through something on one of these calls or a one-on-one call, and you're still not confident in your understanding of that subject. Maybe you haven't actually experienced it in application doing a project. So where would you like to improve in your understanding of, kind of any aspect? And then what type of educational outlets are you utilizing? This is certainly one. Joining these calls, running through these PowerPoints with me, these lessons, these trainings, and then asking questions, hearing questions and answers from some of the other folks. But what other educational outlets? Are you reading books? Are you listening to podcasts, watching YouTube, reading articles, keeping up with, news articles, things like that? Another great place, it doesn't always have the best, most high quality information, but social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, there are some good tidbits and some good investors out there who are, dishing knowledge. I'm certainly not the only one or even the best, but what educational outlets are you exercising? I do a lot of Audible. One of my goals this year is to read one physical copy book per month and do one Audible book per month. Last year it was one Audible book per month. So now I'm trying to step it up, kind of get some physical copies, increase my reading speed and comprehension, and double the books that I read from last year. So educational outlets, and then experiential learning. You will learn the best possible when you're actually going through something, whether it's a positive or a negative. You'll be able to actually see through application where you could have done better. As long as you're reflecting, that's a huge part of education, which I challenge you on 2023 to reflect and kind of do an after action report. I read a book last year by David Goggins, and in the military, they do after action reports after either training sessions or missions or things like that. So why not do that in real life? Why not apply that to your projects in real estate? I started doing that, and it's helped me so much not to repeat mistakes, to catch them ahead of time, to be able to foresee things unfolding. I'm still learning because I may put myself in new situations and get uncomfortable all the time, but experiential learning is definitely going to be kind of a strong backbone of your educational growth. Another question is, what would you like to learn and or be proficient in by the end of the year? Tying into the first two, even the fourth one with experience, where would you like to be at the end of the year? What you want to be proficient in, and just kind of know, do you want to be able to analyze properties in 10 minutes versus 30 minutes? Do you want to be able to I don't know, negotiate with contractors or negotiate with sellers and be proficient in that? That's going to take a lot of actually doing it. Do you want to really have a grasp of your financing options? So whether that be FHA regular, FHA 203K, hard money loans, DSCR loans, commercial loans, seller financing, that's just to name a few. So do you want to be proficient in lending? So I'd be curious about this. This would help me in what I end up kind of teaching you guys too. This whole slide, I would love to get some feedback. So please send that my way. You can email me. You can direct message me on Slack. Either way, any way you like. So then we're going to be talking about property purchases and projects. What goals do you have there? When would you like to buy your first property? When do you feel like you're going to be comfortable and either financially, mentally, educationally? When do you think you're ready? And if you're curious, you think maybe I'm ready or maybe I'm not ready, let's talk about it. That way I can kind of give you my feedback. I mean, if we've been working together, and even if not, then let's talk about where you are. And as an investor myself, having done a number of projects, let's talk about how you got, like, are you guys ready, and what's a good time frame realistically? But I would say for most people, and for you guys here on the call, like, you're ready sooner probably than you think. I mean, you guys are ready right now. So that's one thing. And then second part to that is, how many projects would you like to complete by the end of 2024? We're here in January. It's 12 months. Projects can be just a simple transaction, buying a buy and hold property, a rental property. It can be BRRRR, can be fix and flip, can be other projects. So how many would you like to complete by the end of 2024? I know we've talked about strategies. Everybody I work with gets a kind of customized, individualized strategy. So let's have a discussion. Maybe the strategy and or the goals don't align. So we need to realign, whether adjust the goals, adjust the strategy, et cetera, et cetera. Let's have a conversation about it. What do you want your portfolio mix to look like by the end of 2024? This ties into the other question. What I mean by portfolio mix is, do you want it to be 2 rental properties that are buy and hold long term, and then complete 2 to 3 flips? Do you want it to be a single family and a multifamily property? What are you looking to do? What type of portfolio mix? Again, this will tie into helping with strategy. And we can talk about it too, because what you might want may not be the most efficient route to go. Giving my thoughts either way, and I'm not going to stop you from pursuing that. Be happy to help you in any way I can. But just to have a discussion around that. And what steps do you need to take to achieve these goals? What inputs, which we're going to talk about on the next slide, do you need to get on your calendar, get in your schedule, and overall steps to achieve these goals of portfolio size, or buying your first property, buying multiple properties, or completing multiple projects, and then also your portfolio mix. So there's a few questions to kind of ask, but inputs. So again, like I said earlier, I like to focus on the inputs rather than the outcome and the outputs, because life is going to take you all sorts of ways. So it's more important to focus on what you have control over, where your disciplined effort is going, versus how things are turning out. Because life usually has different plans than we have for ourselves. So as long as you're focused on that, focus on growth, focus on progress. Certainly, like in sports, at the end of the day, the whole goal is to win, make money, buy property, complete a project, right? But we also have to take in different factors. Are you working a job? Do you have family stuff going on? Are you investing out of state? Are you investing in state? What's your strategy exactly? Do you have a very narrowly defined strategy that it's going to take a lot more sifting through properties to actually land one and complete one? Or is it a pretty broad strategy? Pretty much anything would work. It's just kind of up to you to pick what you want to do. So focusing on the inputs and getting down what those inputs are, right? What are required to get your goals? Whether that be reviewing X amount of properties every week, putting in X amount of offers every month, various things like that, just simply to reach your goals. Do you want to build out a team? Do you want some great contractors and insurance agents or whoever else, in your back pocket? How many do you need to call per week, per month, to even just build an initial conversation with? You don't have to have a project for them, but an initial introductory conversation to get to know them, to introduce yourself, and then see if you theoretically like to add them to your team and have available when you're ready. Are there ways to schedule or reach your goals, your input goals, more efficiently? So again, scheduling it in the week. One of my goals this year, I'm hoping to stick to it, but is to do a 30-minute language lesson every week. So last year I tried to get too aggressive, and I was like 30 minutes every day, every other day. I'm going to learn a language by the end of the year. But more realistically, I can set aside 30 minutes in the week, because I know that last year I wasted 30 minutes in every week of mine. So figuring out how to, add that into my Google Drive. My Google Calendar. That way I'm not too exhausted, just or daunted at the goal and discouraged that I'm not going to reach the outcome, and be able to put the effort and reach the input. So are there ways to schedule or reach your goals more efficiently? Maybe the goal that you have to do, 5 fix and flips this year. Okay, that's going to take quite a bit. Maybe it's a better goal to do 2 to 3 fix and flips, and then buy 2 to 3 buy and holds. Because then you're going to be holding those to build your equity over time, versus just constantly churning the funds. You may be making a lot, but fix and flips, you also have to care about capital gains taxes. So, and you're not building any equity. So what's your goal? What's your efficiency? And then outputs. These are going to be our goals. Taking into your inputs, which, sometimes we do reverse engineer it. You have your output. This is what I'd like to do. What are my inputs? What do I need to do to get there? But taking, let's say, not just your inputs, but your ability to input. What time do you have in your life outside of work, personal life, things like that, to commit to this? And in doing so, what inputs are best to have in those time slots? What do you really expect with that to have an outcome? If you're expecting to put 5 hours, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours a week and flip 5 homes this year, you could probably do it, but you also probably couldn't. That's quite intense, especially if you haven't done it before. So just understanding the time you have to commit in relation to what you can do, in relation to your goals and your outcomes. Are your outputs achievable? I love to dream, but one thing about me in dreaming, it kind of bit me in the butt. I set some pretty high outputs and I started reaching them, and then I wasn't prepared for it. So are your outputs achievable in a smart, I don't want to say conservative, but in a way that you're not losing sleep over it. We want to make sure that everything we're doing, there's risk involved. There's certainly things that could go wrong, money that could get lost. But I want to make sure we're going about those as intelligently as possible. And then what happens if you get to the end of this year, halfway through your review or whatever, and you're not reaching your desired outputs? Like, how are you going to react? How are you going to feel? What are you going to think about yourself or those around you who you counted on helping you reach those? I'd say right now, as you're making those plans, like, think of some goals you had set in the past, or just think of how you'll feel in the future, at the end of this year, looking back, and then you didn't achieve the goals. Some things, like, life has different plans. Maybe that was better for you. But if things are in your control and you're able to, and maybe it's just because you didn't act quickly enough. Maybe it's because you didn't stay on top of it and organized, and some things slipped through the cracks. Maybe there's just, different things. You had the wrong people around you, and hired the wrong contractor, hired the wrong property manager, things like that, which we're going to talk about to prevent. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But at the end of the day, like, looking back, what if you don't reach those? Are you going to have gratitude for how far you've come? Are you going to acknowledge the successes that you did have? Are you going to, adjust your goals? I think that's like my next one. Where are we at? Review your inputs throughout the year to realign. So what I do is at the end of every month, I review my goals that I had set, and how am I achieving those? My goals of the inputs and my goals of the outputs too, right? Like, how am I doing? Did I overshoot myself because I am a dreamer and think I could do all this stuff that is realistically not? Am I not being disciplined because I can do those things, but I'm just wasting time? So, yeah, just reviewing throughout the year to stay on top of it, stay confident, to appreciate and have gratitude for what you are accomplishing, what you are learning, and then being able to kind of refocus and understand, what do I need to do to reach these goals? Like, what have I been doing wrong to correct? So, yeah, let's see. Okay, yeah. So that's mostly what I've got. It's just kind of some overview, some mindset stuff, some questions to ask yourself, to reflect on. And yeah, I would love to know if you can send me an email or direct message me. Let's talk about these things. If you want to keep it for a one-on-one and we pull this back up and go through it together for like put on a Google Drive, Google Doc, be happy to do that too. But just, yeah, review this, think about it, set your goals, set your intentions, set your inputs, and focus on those inputs. But yeah, that's what I've got for tonight. I will also do comping as well, but at a later time, since you guys on the call have great comping skills. So can just do some Q&A. Oh, all right. I'll stop presenting and we can chat. So do you have any questions, comments, anything you'd like to talk about? You can talk about your goals.
So, a question I have, like, when thinking about, right, your investment strategy, and
Yeah.
how ultimately, like, real estate is one avenue that you hope to, like, use to, like, set yourself to either, retire early or be work optional or what have you. Like, have you, like, figured out your retire number, to say, like, okay, I need to have this many doors producing X cash flow so I can retire by whatever age? Like, have you done that, or are you in this space of, I want to, be doing real estate investing as long as I can, so, like, I'm not really thinking about retiring from it?
Yeah, my take on that is, answer quickly. No, I don't have a number of doors. I have a personal, like, monthly income I'd like to hit. And being an entrepreneur with like kind of multiple streams of income, some of that will be rental properties. Some of that will be active income as well. You know, if I'm doing fix and flips, if I'm representing clients in brokerage, or if I'm getting some consulting / coaching clients and doing mentorship with them, working on building out some other streams of income this year that tie into, you know, everything I'm doing. But I have a number for that. And the way I'm approaching it is kind of like, okay, what is my most efficient way to reach that number, get that number consistently? And certainly involves real estate, investing, but it also involves my other items as well. So, and I don't think I'm going to retire, to be honest. It's just like a freedom of time. But right now, you know, thankfully I have like freedom from W-2, but true freedom of time to just be like, I'm going to Greece for a month and I'm not worrying about anything. Yeah, I mean, it's like, I mean, my number that I would like to be at, like quite happily and be able to go to Greece for a month or so, it's like 40K, 40K a month, which that was like how much I made for the whole year coming out of college. And I know that's like most people's annual salaries. So it's like a huge monthly number, huge annual number. And I'm not there yet. I pray to God I'll get there. If it's not in his plans for me, you know, that's fine. I'm really thankful for my life and try not to focus on the money necessarily, more so on the relationships with people and just general enjoyment. Because I could die tomorrow. And then that never even comes into play. So that's where I'm at. That's what I encourage you guys to do as well, is to set a number monthly that you would have your freedom of time. I think we're like created to work. So just like stopping and doing nothing isn't necessarily most healthy for us. I also have like family with like Alzheimer's and stuff like that. So I know when you stop actively using your brain, like pretty hardcore and, you know, problem solving and, you know, exercising it through work and, you know, whatever, that can like, you know, lead to lower brain function as you get older. Not keeping that sharp, but yeah, what I would suggest is kind of like get a number that you would like to make per month, and we could talk about this for sure. But yeah, get a number you like to make per month, find out your current income streams, and then start building out the other income streams that will give you the financial freedom and flexibility. Real estate should certainly be one because it's long term. We're not necessarily counting on getting I'm not necessarily counting on getting 400 doors at $100 per door in order to meet my goal. If that math is correct, maybe is that 4,000 doors? No, I think it's, let's see. You're better at math than me. Yeah, no, I'm not looking at getting 400 doors at $100 a door per month to meet that. It might be part of it. And certainly if I did some multifamily, if I did some commercial, you know, it may not need to be 400 doors, could be less with better spread and whatnot, but there's going to be different facets. The beautiful thing is that might be the cash flow per month, but then what's the equity, right? Through the principal pay down every month, through just appreciation, and then you can sell those properties, 1031, refinance, all sorts of things. Very long answer to your question, but yeah, go for it.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that was a great answer. We talked about it earlier, how many doors we would need for retirement, and so great information, especially for like the input output, like what do we need to do. My question is realistically, because I was wondering, what would be a realistic goal for this year? Like, especially since we're starting fresh, we got pre-approval, we know what we want. As far as fix and flip and buy and hold and rental properties. For me, I think I said at least 3 properties and 1 fix and flip. Um, and especially like, I mean, is that realistic to say that, yeah, I want to do that and plan a wedding?
I mean, it certainly could be. They don't all have to be like the most complicated and difficult. And I'll tell you, when investing, when trying to maximize the investment, you're going to be doing things out of the ordinary. So it adds complications naturally, like we've experienced in the most recent transaction and in the other one. But um, I think it's possible, but I'd like to have some more clarity on kind of like your plan to achieve that to really understand. Because I know we're doing FHA 203K, right?
Yeah, so my plan is like like do all the things. FHA, hard money loan, maybe a DCSR. It's like, go big or, or go
Yeah,
home.
for sure. Yeah, no, I mean, I mean, to do those three, so FHA 203K, hard money loan, let's say fix and flip, and then DSCR buy and hold. Um, like the only thing truly that would kind of hold you back is your availability of funds up front, right? So
Mhm.
I think if how do I put this? If you only have enough to do one and you won't have any more to do another until the end of the year, let's say,
Mhm.
then I would say do a fix and flip so that you can multiply your funds. Okay. You
Mhm.
might not 2x it, like, don't know exactly, but you should end up with 1.5 to 2 times more than you started with. Okay.
Mhm.
Then you will have a greater base and you can then do 203K, do a DSCR kind of at the same time. I mean, that could literally give you your funds. Now, if you're able to save money, get a bonus, XYZ, then that might change the strategy. You're pre-approved for 203K. That would be a really great start. We're already kind of going through the process in the middle of it. I would say find another one. Like keep your eye out, find another one. Um, and at the same time, you could be looking for honestly the others as well. Like it's not too great to be split. One of my goals is to be less split this year. Um, so we'd have to talk about like how to allocate your time searching, and things like that. But as far as the reason I would recommend the FHA first is because the residential housing is only going to skyrocket this year. Like, I don't know for sure. I don't have a crystal ball, but it's really hard for me to think that if interest rates start going down, that more homes won't become an inventory and many more buyers will become buyers again. Both of those factors, the inventory, sometimes it can drive prices down. No, it's not going to, because that's going to mean people are selling their homes, and people who sell their homes, especially with a ton of equity, are also buyers. So you have sellers coming out of their homes, going into new ones, and you have new buyers coming into the market who were not previously homeowners, but they're in because they have more palatable interest rates now. So I would say in this beginning of the year, go for that 203K before kind of it gets crazy, because once the Fed starts cutting rates, unless inflation goes through the roof and economy crashes like crazy, not likely to happen because that's going to open up funding for businesses and whatnot. Um, Once they start cutting, they're going to keep cutting, and they're just going to cut just like they rose incrementally. So at that point, real estate prices are going to go up. You'll be able to benefit from that appreciation. You won't be competing in a crazy market like that. You also won't have to pay a higher price. Simple as that. So that's my take on kind of what your next steps could and should be. Um, I'm happy to help you do whatever you prefer.
Thank you. Another one of my goals is to be proficient in analyzing. So that will help.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, we got 203K, DSCR, and fix and flip. And that fix and flip doesn't have to be a sale. It could be a burr, which if the numbers make sense, I would recommend you do. Of course, if the numbers make sense, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking that too. But when you refinance on the after repair value.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the only thing there is you have to recognize what your refinance costs are going to be, and then also what your new payment will be at that higher valuation, because you usually want to max it out in order to get your initial investment back out. So as long as it cash flows after the refinance, you're good.
Can you do burr on multifamilies, or is that something typically reserved for single family properties?
No, yeah, you can burr multifamily. Yeah. The 2 to 4 or greater. And that's, yeah, that usually multifamilies that need work, usually you can pick up at a better price comparatively to the ARV. So example, a 2-bedroom house you might be able to pick up for like 70K, right? And then ARV could be 150, let's say. But multifamily, you could probably pick it up at like 90, but then ARV is like, again, probably double, like 180 or even above 200. Because they have a different valuation. They go off the gross rent multiplier.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And I was just doing a quick search. I guess this would probably go back to like trying to find deals in like non-traditional places, because I was just looking at, the realtors, and it just doesn't seem like the markets that we would like to focus on have many, if any, multifamilies. And, when trying to get the most out of an FHA situation and going for that 4-unit property,
Yeah.
it seems like it's a little very few out there. And then for Chanel's scenario, it would be best for us to kind of get that one under our belt first, right? And then try to get all the other ones, because once we purchase the other ones, does that complicate the FHA, or doesn't it, just because none of them are considered her primary?
There's a risk that it could. Theoretically, it should not. Okay, because they're going to be held in the LLC. But I'm pretty sure you'd have to disclose, like, hey, I'm part owner of this LLC that owns these properties, or I'm full owner of this LLC. That shouldn't prevent you from getting your own personal home, right, through these first-time home buyer loans. But it can complicate the DSCR, the way they, run the numbers on your reserves or your debt. Not DSCR, but DTI, but the way they run the numbers on all that. So, and see you as a risk factor, right? It is a government-backed loan. Most people can get them, but most who are active home buyers. But yeah, that's my take on it. I do think do the 203K first, just get that locked up, because that won't prevent you from doing the others. But doing the others could make that more complicated, and in a worst case scenario, I don't see, but in a worst case scenario, prevent you from it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, you talked about like finding deals. Okay. Are you guys on any wholesale lists? Because I have quite a few, a good amount. Are you guys getting any wholesale emails? I'll start there.
I have the Bigger Pockets emails, and we're on your collaboration.
Okay. So collaboration is MLS. That's going to be good to see. I will send you wholesale emails, and basically they're going to be forwarded messages from ones that I've received. And all you need to do with the email you desire, email that person, say hi, blah blah. I'm a investor looking for XYZ in these areas. Can I get added to your buyers list, please? And they may not send you things directly in your criteria. They may send you things in Charlotte, and you're not looking in Charlotte. But at least if you're on their list, you'll be able to see things that they have available. Almost like the collaboration center, but for off-market properties. Then also should join some of these Facebook groups that I have selected, and you may already be in them, but I'll send them to you as well. And they post in there different properties. So obviously probably hundreds to thousands of people looking, but the investor pool is pretty small, and a lot of investors have their specific buy box. So again, if you can be more creative, if it fits what you're looking for at a basis, and there's a way to make it work, or maybe it's what you're looking for and you just move the fastest. There's plenty of deals out there. It's just about exactly sourcing them, finding them, understanding how they fit for you. So I'll get you on those wholesale lists. You'll need to reach out. I'll forward you. You'll need to reach out. And then the Facebook groups, I'll send you the links to join, and then join those and just scroll them. If you look once a day at realtor.com, look once a day at the Facebook groups. And then, you just message them. Hey, I'm interested. What are some details? If there's one that you see and you want to know how to approach them, let me know. Same thing with surfing Craigslist. Like, those take the work, which is why I like the wholesale emails. They'll come right to you. So it takes some of the work out of it. But at the same time, too, maybe you find an incredible deal surfing Craigslist and surfing Facebook.
If we could ask for one more recommendation, it would be for a CPA. If you have any.
Oh, yeah.
for
I'm
a
sorry.
CPA.
If we talked about this last time and I didn't send it, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
We had our first business meeting, so we're excited.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. The CPA is great. And they're pretty affordable for the services that they provide. They're like a professional. They're strategic. They have a whole team with different like specialists, but they charge a flat fee. So, you could get like basically unlimited consulting throughout the year. They don't bill hourly. So, get your money's worth. But then, yeah, they're also extremely strategic too, doing, various like cost segregations or putting different expenses under certain categories that would be more beneficial. So, yeah, anyways, so CPA, wholesalers, and Facebook groups.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one thing also that's part of like kind of my inputs for this year is looking at properties for my clients on a more regular basis to send over. It may be more general if people are looking for a fix and flip. It may not be exactly what you are looking for. But if I do see one that kind of fits what you might be interested in, yeah, I'm going to be sending it over to you. I just need to be able to set aside that time to do kind of a regular cadence checking in. So should start that next week.
Good. The lady that we met from North Carolina, her money lenders recommended a book called Traction to us, and so if you want to add that to your list, we can all read together and figure out what we take from it.
Would you say about it? Traction, get a grip on your business?
Who's the author?
Author is Gino Wickman.
Yep. Yeah.
Cool. It's on the list.
The other book she recommended was What the Heck is EOS by the same author. So we're reading the Traction one first, and then what the heck.
Uh,
But we're not sure if they're supposed to be read in a particular order. But we were able to find like the free audio of one of them, so we just started with that one.
nice. Yeah. I looked at EOS before, but I didn't really have. I had like one employee, maybe two. So
I know the first 5 pages is like answer these questions about your business. And I was like, it's just us. But I mean, I feel like it when you talk about like entrepreneur operating system, some of the key components is like vision, like to make sure everybody has the same vision as you. And it's like even if I don't have a business, like my relationship and network, like we all are on the same page, so we all can get to each other's goals, even if it's
absolutely.
not like business transaction related.
Yeah, you gotta lift each other up, like iron sharpening iron. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right.
If you're not running the same direction, you're running opposite directions. I mean,
Right. And I mean,
yeah.
I feel like if anything, we probably have added somebody to our team. Jim, I think he does more than consulting.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a huge addition. I was glad we met up with him.
for sure.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
super nice too, just like
yeah.
us.
I called him up on Saturday too. Like it was clearly a weekend, like holiday, but I texted him first. I was like, "Hey, can I like just try to be more respectful than just, hey, Jim, it's Saturday, talk to me." But yeah, no, he was like, "Yeah, call me for a few minutes." So just chatted with him, and it's really nice, really helpful.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I'm excited. So let's see what 2024 has for us.
Oh yeah.
I think Melissa's gonna sharpen her IA skills and see how she can like I guess project manage. What is it, hon? I'm not. I'm in healthcare.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I'm just like you. I'm trying to, use the existing skills I have to like build additional income. When I did the IA work, or when I got the certification for it, but the season was like pretty slow. It's like, how can I use the software that I learned to use, Exactimate, to do, estimates on the side and such. Um, and then after meeting with Jim, I was like, I feel like, being an IA is like a step away from being a home inspector because you're just doing that work, but just for insurance versus for a house, right? Or a seller buyer situation. So then I was looking into that, and all these other
Ooh.
various things. So hopefully be able to eventually pivot into like doing project management in the real estate space. So we shall see where we land.
Awesome.
Mm,
Yeah, no, that's exciting for sure.
very
Yeah, I think
much.
utilizing skills or interests to create additional income and then figuring out a way to kind of like automate it or get it to be like a little more self-reliant is key. Yeah. I'm looking into a lot of AI automations this year. Um, I'm still learning about like applicable applications, but and uses. But yeah, I'm excited to dive into that, see how that works
Or
out.
you can create your own.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, like setting up things to like scrape articles and then create like blog posts or LinkedIn or like, I get an email that has these key phrases in it, like, write up an email response. I'm trying, what I would really love to build out is one that analyzes properties. Like anytime a property comes on the MLS, like within certain criteria, pulling all the information to analyze it and then just kind of do a once over where um, the renovation budget is, reviewed manually, but have the rest kind of be on target. So that would be like super key. Then nobody would really have to be analyzing properties. Would just send them out.
That would be nice. Or like an app for it. So I feel like, I mean, we on the team, we would need someone who's like tech savvy or like code savvy or to help us out.
Yeah,
mean,
no, literally, my buddy, like 2 days after Christmas, he's like, "Hey, Dimitri, if you could have an app, like if you could create an app to do something helpful, like what would you want it to do in your life?" And that's what I thought of, like literally having you like scrape listings and analyze them accurately because there's so much inaccurate analysis. They analyze them accurately and maybe just, in this area of North Carolina, not nationally, not whatever. And so I called him. I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, what kind of app?" And he was like, "Man, I really wanted to build an app and just like practice my coding skills. Like, it's not going to be anything fancy, but something I want to do." And I thought, if I'm going to put all this time and effort, I might as well make something that's useful for Dimitri. And I was like, "Oh, he's so sweet."
oh, that's so
That was so
nice.
nice. It's like,
Oh,
dang, you're
that's
first.
amazing.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. That's what I'm going to tell him. I haven't told him. I told him I'm going to think about it, but that's the type of app I'm going to tell him. And we'll see what he does with it.
Yeah, because and once he's done and get the kinks out, tell him call me. I have 2 app ideas too.
Oh, what do you have? What do you have?
So, like travel nursing,
Yeah.
housing. Ideally, essentially, it's like an app like Airbnb, but it's all inclusive. So you can all inclusive in one place. So you can find a short-term rental, you can find a long-term housing, you can find furnished housing, all in one space, and the landlord or lister pays. So you're not getting like a scam or whatever. So they pay to post a listing and you guys can communicate directly. They can pay for additional background check, which they don't pay for, they opt for it. And so they can like send you like, hey, fill out this background form in
Yeah.
order to get, approval. And as the renter, you pay for it, but you can do your contracts, through the app. You can get payment through the app, but everything is in one place. You don't have to search different apps for it, like
Nice.
apartments, or vacation rental. All of it is in one app.
That's the future.
Yes,
For sure.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
I like it. I like it. What about, do you have another one?
yes. The hashtag to our wedding is why not minority.
Yeah.
Um, So it's like, oh, a dating app, why not? And it's like, oh, do you want to make out on the first date? Okay, why not? Just do it. You know what I mean? Like basically just do it.
Yeah.
So it's a dating app which I wrote it down. I can't even remember, but it was um basically the focus of like, let's just take all the, stereotypes and like the um apprehension to dating apps and just do it. Whatever you want to do, just do
I like
it.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like exclusive. Like it's what was it, Hein? What was that other app, dating
It's
app? It was
supposed to be like the league, but the league it tends to skew a certain direction. So this would be like the league, but skewing the other direction for the groups of people that don't typically show up on the league.
Yeah. Sweet.
yeah,
Nice.
those are my 2.
We got a lot of ideas. We just gotta like,
I love
how
them.
you have so many ideas. You're like, all right, which one do I put all my, bet all the money on and run with? It's
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. Man, well, I love that. I'm gonna follow up on these items with you guys. And then keep you updated tomorrow. Hopefully we get a response. I'll be on him. I mean, not trying to press too hard. I'm already probably pissing him way off, but also we're upset too. So,
Yeah.
great situation. But no, we'll work it out. Send him the documents. My broker's looped in, so we will let's start looking for another, I guess.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We don't have to move on it like ASAP, but like start looking and yeah, just let me know if you see anything. We'll talk soon. We'll talk soon.
For sure.
Well,
And it's so funny. We're like doing all of this and we're just waiting on Scott to be like, oh, the appraisal's going out, and then like, oh, we terminated. Why you didn't tell me? Oh, because we.
So disappointed in Scott.
Yeah,
But yeah, it would be funny.
it's
All right.
fine. All right, you guys have a great night.
Chatting.
Nice to
Thank
see you.
you. Bye.